Okay, so 9.3, the account class. Design a class named account. Okay, so we need to design a class. So we'll start off with our header file. And we'll name this account. We'll call this class account. Remember, when making a class, you always have to put your semicolon there. And in the class, we have private and public. Okay. An int data field named ID for the account. Okay, an int data field named ID for the account. That will be one of our variables, so we're going to make that private. We want to keep that inside that class, so we'll call it int ID. A double data field named balance for the account. Okay, double. A double data field named annual interest rate that stores the current interest rate. Okay. Okay. A no argument constructor that defaults account with ID 0 and balance 0 and interest rate 0. Okay. So count no argument constructor, so nothing goes in there. The accessor and mutator functions for ID, balance, and annual interest rate. So that's going to be our gets and sets. So taking in our data type for ID would be integer get ID. And remember, you want to keep the function name consistent with capital. So you get your get and then capital next. Double get balance. Double annual interest. Get. And then we need another. No, now we need our sets. So when you set something, you're not going to return anything. You're just going to change something from the class to a value that you pass in as a parameter. So if you're not returning anything, the function is a void set ID. And since ID is an integer, we want to pass in an integer. Void get balance. And balance is a double, so we want to pass in a double. Void get annual interest rate. And that's also a double. This should be a spelling. So okay. Function named withdraw amount that withdraws a specific amount from the account. Okay. So in the withdraw, you're not going to return anything. You're just, again, only changing something from the class. So that would be a void. And then it's taken away from the balance, and the balance is a double, so we'll pass in a double for consistency. And actually, I think we skipped this one. A function named get monthly interest rate that returns the monthly interest rate. Okay. And that one we're returning a monthly interest rate, and that should be a double. See? And we're not passing anything, we're just getting something. Now, a functioning deposit amount that deposits a specific amount to the account. So we're adding it to the account and we're passing in something. Okay. Double. No, we're not returning anything, so it should be a void. Deposit. Double. And that's all for this class. And remember here, you always want to put in these just to make sure that you don't call mistakenly the class in anywhere that doesn't belong. Okay, now we're going to add the CPP file for this class. And remember, this should be called the same as the header. So we have to include, include. And it's right there for us. And here, since we're calling something directly from the header file, we have to put in its name, colon. I will start off with the constructor. Now the constructor asks us to set the ID, balance, and annual interest rate to 0. So that's what we'll do. Next function. So our next function that we need to put into our CPP file is the get ID. So count, remember we're calling it directly. And then get ID. So you'll be returning its ID. Remember, the syntax for it is data type, header type, and then the function name. Next one. Get balance. And that one was a double. The next one is double get interest rate. Just gonna copy this. Next one, set ID. That one was a void. Set. And this one we're passing in an integer. I'm just going to call it. And we're setting our ID to whatever the value we pass in for num. So our ID is going to equal num. Next one, set balance. And we're passing in a double. And I'll call this one num as well. Same thing, balance equals num. Next one, set annual interest rate. Okay, just going to copy this one. put in variable name for whatever you're passing in, and our annual interest rate is going to equal our num. Okay, and then get monthly interest rate. So to get the monthly interest rate of an annual interest rate, there are 12 months in each year, so all you have to do is divide the annual interest rate by 12. So you'll be returning annual interest rate by 12. Actually, 12.0. Okay, so the next one, continuing, we'll be doing is withdraw. Okay, I'll call this repair one. Now, before I get into this, you have to check if you have enough money in your account that you can withdraw. So if your balance is greater than the amount that you can withdraw, then you can withdraw it. So this is very important because you can't have a negative bank account unless, I don't know, you're a UC student or something. Okay, next one, deposit. I'll call this one no. Now if I'm depositing money into my account, that means I'm adding money into account, and that's pretty simple. Plus equals no. Okay, and this is your account class. Now we have to incorporate it into our main. So here I'm gonna add in our hashtag include account. There it is. This is problem number 3. Now it says write a test program that creates an account object with an ID of this, a balance of this, and an annual interest rate of this. Okay. So we'll make an account and we'll call this ACC. Now remember, its constructor had no argument, so we don't pass anything in there. Right now its ID, balance, and annual interest rate are equal to 0, but we can change that with our mutator functions. So ACC dot, we're going to set ID to 1122. ACC dot set balance to 20,000. ACC dot set annual interest rate to 4.5. Okay, and then it asks us to use the withdraw function to withdraw 2,500, use the deposit function to deposit 3,000, and print the balance and monthly interest rate. Okay, so ACC withdraw first, withdraw 2,500, then ACC dot deposit. 3,000, right? More than we took out. Always want to have that. Then it asks us to print the balance and monthly interest rate. Okay, so we're going to see out ACC.getBalance, because you want to see the balance. Actually, we should probably put in a little string to say something. The balance of the account is ACC.getBalance. And the monthly interest rate is ACC.get. Let's see. Get monthly interest rate. Okay. So now let's run it. Okay, this was 9.3. The balance of the account is 2,500 and the interest rate is 0.375. We can check that. So let's see. If our balance is set at 2,000, we withdraw 2,000. We withdraw 2,500 and then add 3,000. We should get 20,500, and that is what we got. And then the annual interest rate, let's see, 4.5 divided by 12, 0.375, 0.375. So we know our answer, we know our class works, and we know that this case works, right? And that was 9.3.